Hello everyone! So, version 3.5 of Honkai Star Rail's Amphorius patch cycle, titled Before Their Deaths, just revealed their new trailer for The Deliverer, which is obviously Kalos and Stella, that is the Trailblazer. There are a bunch of other interesting details that they also showcase in this trailer. I was absolutely not expecting it, so I decided to make this video and go over it. Let's play it! I will obviously play the trailer first and then go over it again. Starting off, we have, of course, a shot of Amphorius, which is a simulated world created by a discarded scepter of Nous called Delta Me 13. This discarded scepter eventually gained the gaze of Nanook, the Aeon of Destruction, and it itself ascended into a Lord Ravager. Or at least it is in the process of ascension. It is really close, and Lygus wants it to complete its evolution and become the Lord Ravager Arentomb. However, the Christless Heirs and the Nameless are trying to halt this evolution. So we start with the three, which I find this actually quite interesting. We start with the three shots of Mydimos's hand. Of course, Mydimos is the current demigod and the future, if we get a new cycle, he would become the future titan of Strife, Nikador. And then after him, we have, well, not Polixia, sorry, this is Castoris in Styxia. Hyacinthia in the sky, and then we get our first look into March 7th's new form, which is going to be called Ever Night, and she is eating the simulated world of Amphorius. It's very funny. So she ate Amphorius, and then we get Insane March. Take a look. So March 7th, an extremely interesting character because, of course, she is a pretty much directly succeeding the archetypal character of Missy Nanatsuki from Tsai Haoyu's The Legend of Saha. This was the first ever Flash game that Tsai Haoyu produced on his own before he founded the MiHoYo along with Liu Wei, who is of course also known as Da Wei. Missy Nanatsuki happens to be the main character of that game, The Legend of Saha. It was a very simple Flash game back in 2009-2010, and her name, Mise, means March in Japanese, at least in some variations of the reading. Nana means number 7, and Tsuki means moon. So, Mise Nanatsuki, March 7th's moon. So you can obviously see how this correlates immediately to March 7th, and how March 7th, as the poster child of, or the poster character of Honkai Star Rail, is not just important to Star Rail, but to the entirety of the HoYoverse. She is literally based on the primordial character of MiHoYo before even MiHoYo was founded. She is the GOAT. And of course, we transition into the Eye of Iron Tomb, which you can also interpret very fairly as the Eclipse of Destruction. This is the symbol of the eclipse, which is used for all the Lord Ravagers, along with their Aeon Nanook itself, or themselves. Aglaya. So yeah, these are all the Chrysos heirs who have passed away. Also, yeah, I know Cythera is sleeping like a cat. It's quite adorable. And then we have Phainon with the Flame Reaver, who was Kaslana. So Cythera. And then Phainon, the Flame Reaver, we get Kaslana or Kaoslana. And this guy is our very first look into Lycurgus's true form. Lygus, of course, is the current overseer of Amphorius, the one who is trying to achieve the complete evolution of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb so that it can hatch and unleash destruction upon Nous, the Aeon of Erudition, who originally abandoned the scepter Delta Mi 13. And of course, as we all know from the recently revealed information during the Trailblaze mission for the Sun is Set to Die, Lycurgus reveals to the Trailblazer and Phainon, and technically also Cyrene, that Iron Tomb once used to be a celestial body neuron scepter of Nous, and currently the Aeon of Erudition Nous is the target of Iron Tomb's ire and wrath, because the Lord Ravager, once it completes its evolution and extrapolation, will target the Aeon of Erudition who abandoned it. This is of course one of the three reasons for the involvement of the Genius Society members, Herta and Skrulum, because they are of course followers of Nous, and I highly doubt they want to see their Aeon being destroyed. Do keep in mind that the Aeon of Erudition, not only is Nous itself inspired by the idea of the Nous from the Greek philosopher Anaxagoras, so Nous itself is Greek in inspiration, but also, in addition to that, Nous's head is shaped in a way that is very similar to the Roman war helmet called the Galea. I'm gonna have the picture over on the screen right now. This is of course important because Nous was created by Zandar I Kawabara, who was the first member of the Genius Society and the most likely the first ever emanator of the Aeon Nous, because once Nous ascended into Aeonhood, it took Zandar, who was its creator, and lifted him into the status of an emanator as well. This is the current presumed status of Zandar I Kawabara. Now, I will be talking more about Zandar in one of my upcoming videos. He is one of the most important characters in the entirety of the HoYoverse, so it's important for you guys to know who he is. But the primary reason why I am bringing him up right now is because the name Zandar is split into three parts. You have one part which is a number, that's of course 1, and then you have Kawabara, that's Japanese, and then the first one, Zandar, it comes from Xander, which is itself, Xander, comes from Alexandros. Alexandros is, of course, the name of Alexandros of Macedon, Alexander the Great. So I wanted to point this detail out because it's not only Lycurgus and Amphorius who are inspired by Greek mythology and philosophy and history, but also Nous, the Aeon of Erudition whom Iron Tomb wants to kill, is also inspired by Roman and Greek philosophy, especially Greek philosophy through the historical philosopher Anaxagoras, and also the creator of Nous, Zandar, is inspired by a person from Greek history and real-world history, that being Alexandros of Macedon, quite possibly the most famous Greek person in all of history, aside from possibly Plato and Socrates. It's also worth mentioning that Alexandros was the student of Aristotle, and Aristotle was the student of Plato, and Plato was the student of Socrates. Of course, thanks to Alexandros' conquest of Persia, the Persian Empire back then, the philosophies of Socrates, Plato, the Socratic method, the works of Plato, and the works of Aristotle, they spread along with the expansion of Alexandros' empire. I'm not going to go over the history because this video is not a history lesson. However, I wanted to mention this detail because it is really, really cool that not only Amphorius and Lycurgus are inspired by Greek and Roman history and mythology and philosophy, but also their targets, which is going to be the Aeon Nous, and the first ever emanator of Nous, Zandar, is not the target of Lycurgus and Iron Tomb, but he remains very much connected to Nous nonetheless as the creator of the Aeon. And he himself is called Zandar, that's his first name. Zandar comes from Xander, Xander comes from Alexander, and Alexander is of course in Greek Alexandros. Also, holy shit, of course Lygus has a nuke. You can see him nuking. It happens really fast, but pay attention. So Lygus, the core flame of Kefali, and then Lygus unleashes the nuke. You can see the reflection in front of Kalus's eye. Who is the guy with Kalus? Hold on, let me see. The guy with Kalus is... Oh, that's not a guy, that's Hycelens. Okay. Siridra, of course, Hycelens again. And Terravox! So this is Dan Heng's new SP. He is going to be the demigod of the earth and the inheritor of Giorios's authority as the titan of the earth. In my opinion, this looks pretty cool. Some people are already calling the designs of March 7th and Dan Heng as chopped. However, I think we are looking at two different things because these guys are not chopped at all. They look really good. Both of them, honestly. I don't really know which one is my favorite yet. I am leaning more towards March because I am honestly biased towards March. If you have been following this channel for a very long time, then you should probably know my favorite character in Genshin Impact is Zhongli. My favorite character in Honkai Star Rail is March 7th. And I am really happy that I was right about her being important in Amphorius back in the days. I made an old video about her before, and I said she has a bunch of inspirations from Greek mythology because of like her character stories and stuff like that. I specifically said Sparta, which is part of Greece, ancient Greece. It didn't turn out to be 100% accurate, but given how old that theory was before Amphorius, I am honestly quite surprised how close it was. And the Herda, now we have the 12 Titans, Cyrene, of course, into... Hold on, they show us March for a split second. I want to see if there's any Easter eggs in the screen where they show us March. The flowers are supposed to symbolize Evernight, and the red glass breaking behind March, it should be representative of Fuli's influence, because of course we know Fuli is the Aeon of Remembrance, and Fuli is very much associated with not only ice, but mirrors and shattered glass and shattered memories, and also constructed memories in the Garden of Recollection. But yeah, pretty cool. Oh, and Terravox got a new spear. When I say Terravox, I of course mean Dan Heng, who is going to become Terravox. And here we have... Is there anything... I'm looking for Easter eggs if you're wondering why I am talking slowly. So I don't think there's any major Easter eggs here. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a reference to Honkai Impact or anything like that, but of course Cyrene in her... You know what? I just realized something really funny. I'm gonna tell you in a few seconds, but let's play this. So a puzzle piece, which reminds me honestly of the Harmony Aeon, and maybe Selenova? The Nameless. Cyrene is walking with them, so of course we see all of the deceased Chrysos heirs along the way. Hold on, let me go just a few seconds back to highlight it. So Castoris over here, she is in Stexia. This is the moment from the Trailblaze mission through the petals in the Land of Repose towards the end, when Anaxagoras, with the help of Castoris, finally realized the truth of Amphorius, or at least got really close. So, oh, Cynthia is also with them, but she's gonna fade away, I'm assuming. So we have Cyrene walking, Dan Heng is walking, Kalus, which of course is also Stella, the Trailblazer. We are walking with them, and they fade away, and suddenly, right now, this is the new team, because the old team is dead. Of course, don't worry, all of the old characters are gonna come back. Right now, the second half of Amphorius' storyline has finally begun, and this is our new team. And the transition from the old team to the new team is marked by also this scene, which symbolizes the transition from the old age to the new age. Or, for those of you who have seen my recent video, my analysis for the character of Phainon and Cyrene, the transition from the old Adam to the new Adam. So Phainon is the old Adam, and the Trailblazer is supposed to represent the new Adam on Amphorius. If you are confused by what I am saying, just check out this video right here. I explain it in full detail. But sticking to where we are right now, what you are looking at here is the transition once again from the old age to the new age, symbolized by Phainon tapping Kalus on the shoulder and like, come on buddy, now it's your turn. you have to continue pushing the boulder of Sisyphus up the hill and finish our journey. And the new team consists of High Sealens. We have Evernight, which is of course March 7th. We have Teravox, we have the Herta, along with the Scrulum, Cyrene, the Trailblazer, and Ciridra. And they are going to fight, once again, the symbol of the eclipse. This is the coronal light of the eclipse that happens when the moon is in front of the sun and stuff like that. Of course, this is in a perfect eclipse, complete eclipse. And Kalos gets his anime power-up moment. Holy! Okay, now we finally see Iron Tomb. This is so badass. And you can see Iron Tomb, they are summoning... it is summoning the authorities of the Titans or something along those lines right above its head. This is really cool. Because remember, all of the Titans, they are just aspects of Iron Tomb. Iron Tomb is the complete being. And of course, I know the new team looks way more badass and way cooler. Like the new generation of heroes, they are just way cooler than the ones who just died. However, without the previous Chrysos heirs, without Tribi, without Aglaya, without Anaxagoras, Castoris, and of course Phainon at the end, we would not have these guys. The old heroes are the ones who paved the way for the new team to finish off what they started. But the new team is really cool, I have to say. Okay, so remember when I said I remembered something funny about Cyrene? So, Cyrene is literally a Pokemon. She starts as a mem, and then you feed her and take care of her. She evolves into a Cyrene, and now she transforms into her final form. This is once you max her out, she becomes this goddess creature who is, of course, supposed to be similar to Elysia, the Hersher of a human ego from Honkai Impact 3rd. But I find this to be really, really funny. Now, this appears to be Cyrene's emanator form, as one of the emanators of Fuli, the Aeon of Remembrance, whom March 7th is also connected to. And this, again, this is really, really nice. However, one thing that I am wondering is what is going to happen to Phainon, and it seems like we are about to get our answer. So notice how Cyrene reveals a star from her heart. Let's just take a look here. So she takes the hand of Kalos, and then she reveals a star from her heart. Of course, we have to keep in mind that the Trailblazer, Kalos, and Estella, they are very much likened to stars because they house a Stellaron inside them, and thus this animation could be referencing that idea, because notice how Kalos comes out of the star right here. Like literally comes out, like the transition is him coming out from the star. And then goes to punch this creature right here. Is this Iron Tomb's final form? It looks like it. What's interesting about this creature, aside from being Iron Tomb's final form, is that it looks like this is what happens once Iron Tomb completely assimilates Phainon into itself. So this guy right here, this is Iron Tomb. However, I think they are using the 33 million core flame. Well, it's not more than 33 million. It would be 33 million multiplied by 12, 396. Actually, no, it's not exactly. It is 33 million.5. So it will be like 400 million core flames. I am assuming this is Iron Tomb. However, it is utilizing Phainon's body after assimilating him into itself. And now it has the power of 33 million core flames, which is insane. However, Phainon was not the only one that accumulated power over 33 million cycles. Cyrene As confirmed by the developers later in the live stream, Cyrene also accumulated power alongside Phainon over the passage of 33 million cycles, and because of that, I am assuming what's going to happen is that Iron Tomb will assimilate Phainon. They will use the power of the approximately 400 million core flames which Phainon gathered across 33 million cycles, and Cyrene, because she also gathered power just like, well, I'm assuming she didn't gather as much as Phainon, because you have to keep in mind that Phainon was literally taking the core flames of the Titans, but she probably did something with Foley, something along those lines. I am assuming this power that Cyrene gathered will be utilized through the Trailblazer, because look, the Trailblazer, she literally summons Kalis, and Kalis goes to punch this divine creature who appears to be the complete form of Iron Tomb, utilizing Phainon himself. Yeah, so this is really cool. So this is Kalis, the Trailblazer, powered by Cyrene, who accumulated power over millions of cycles, and fighting the complete form of Iron Tomb after having assimilated Phainon, who also accumulated power over 33 million cycles by, of course, gathering approximately 400 million core flames. So, yeah, in the end, we are going to be getting two super-powered gods in the form of Kalis and Phainon fighting each other. This is actually a Dragon Ball Z moment, bro. Like, it genuinely is. And yeah, of course, we have Phainon's ult, symbolizing what just happened. Really, really cool, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to discuss in this video. Just go quickly over the trailer, analyze it, talk about the lore, the hidden Easter eggs, the symbolism, all of that cool stuff, because I am really excited for the second half of Amphorius, and I hope you guys are as well. I know the game has a bunch of problems. For example, a lot of people are complaining about the lack of events, and the some people are saying that the quest is bloated. I disagree with that. But putting those problems aside, which I do agree they are issues that need to be resolved, I do like the storyline of Amphorius. Before we leave though, the developers say something really stupid here, listen.
I studied chess since childhood. On the board, only one rule matters.
I'm gonna repeat what you just said. Carefully listen.
There's controversy, nor would she act for the sake of praise. I studied chess since childhood. On the board, only one rule matters.
Now take a listen at what she says here.
Any price. It means I won't hesitate, even if victory costs me my king piece. The only thing I want is that sweet checkmate at the end game.
Siridra, I don't know how to break this to you, but you have been studying chess since childhood, and you do not know that the king piece cannot be sacrificed. Take a listen again at what she says. Look.
I won't hesitate, even if victory costs me my king piece.
The thing is, it is physically impossible for victory to cost you your king piece because the king cannot be eliminated. Maybe she meant the queen. Maybe she meant the queen. But for someone who has been studying chess since childhood, this statement is so stupid. Of course, Siridra is not real, but she's a character. But the developers are trying to portray her as this like fucking genius strategist who has been studying chess since childhood, and her entire design is about chess. Her scepter has a chess piece in it. Her crown looks like the crown of a king. Her abilities, her thematic design, all of that is designed around chess. She even has a bunch of chess pieces in her banner. And she says that victory might cost her her king, which is the only piece in chess that cannot be eliminated.
The only thing I want is that sweet checkmate at the...
The thing is, you cannot get a checkmate if your king is already checked. Oh, man. This is so stupid. I'm assuming she meant to say the queen, or the developers mistranslated it. I think that's what happened, because this is absurd. Take a listen.
It means I won't hesitate, even if victory costs me my king piece. The only thing I want is that sweet checkmate at the end game.
Oh man, yeah, this is Albert's reaction is exactly mine. HoYoverse, legendary translation. I think they meant a queen piece because sacrificing the king is impossible. I think they meant a queen piece, but yeah, that's what the character who is supposed to be all about chess and studied chess since her childhood has to say about winning a game of chess. She is willing to sacrifice her king. What are you going? So she's gonna promote a pawn to his. Look what she's gonna do. She's gonna sacrifice her king, very strategic, and then she's gonna promote a pawn into a king. For those who don't know chess, that's impossible. You cannot do that. And then using the promoted pawn into a king, she's gonna get the check with the other pieces. Literally makes no sense. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and I wanted to rant about this part at the end. I find it really, really funny. Thank you all for watching. Expect a few Honkai Star Rail videos in the upcoming days, and I have a Colombina video that is cooking. Colombina from Genshin is a really, really nice character, and Nodikrai seems absolutely amazing. I love this region. It seems like they are upping their game on many, many different levels, not only gameplay, but also storyline, aesthetics, designs, all of that stuff. So yeah, lots of cool things coming in the future. Look forward to them. As always, huge thanks to everyone who supports this channel on Patreon. Thank you all for watching till the end. For now, I've been My Name for Now, and I will catch you in the next time. Take care.